Welcome to the Chronicles told by the Oracle. Cases of the missing, murdered, and unsolved. I'd like to thank everyone for watching today, and don't forget to head over to thecertifiedoracle.com where you'll find source information for today's episode. And be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss a case. Let's get started with Chronicle 17, the Nancy and Theobald case. The year was 1977. Star Wars hit the cinemas and a craze that would last decades was taking off. The Chevy Impala was a car everyone wanted. The High Five was created and would be used that Christmas as the Atari 2600 came out. For the Theobald family, the holidays would not be so bright. Nancy Ann Theobald was a very bright young woman of 18 years. She stood a modest 5'1" and weighed around 115 pounds. With blue eyes and brown hair, she was liked by all she met. She had been a National Honor Society member at her Indian Hills High School. Her senior year, she had been in France as part of the American Field Service Exchange Student Program. Once back from France and graduating high school, Nancy started her journey at the University of Cincinnati, where she was in the honors program majoring in finance. Nancy was one of 5 siblings. Her dad was a very well-known man in the area of Cincinnati, as he was the vet for the local zoo. Her mom and dad had recently moved to Florida to start a veterinary clinic with 2 of her siblings, while Nancy, Michael, and Mary Lou all stayed in Ohio and shared an apartment together near the University of Cincinnati in Clifton. On Wednesday, November 16th, Nancy had work at the local Arby's, where she had been employed for nearly a month. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary that evening. Her older brother Mike said she did not have a driver's license, so when her shift was over, he expected a call to come to get her. When she had not called by 11 p.m., he said he left and went out with friends, assuming she had a ride home. This, however, would be the last time her family or co-workers saw her alive. Nancy had changed out of her Arby's work shirt before telling co-workers she was going to walk home that night. She is said to have left a little later than usual by some reports at 11:30 p.m. Other reports state that she clocked out and left at 10:53 p.m. After saying goodbye to everyone for the night, Nancy set out to go home as she had classes the next day. When her older brother saw she had not returned home, he called the police and filed a missing persons report. He told the police this was out of character for his sister and she would not have run away. After talking to people close to her, police concluded she had not run away, but that she was more than likely abducted on her way home from work. Her brother Mike told police he had feared something bad had happened to her. It should be noted that in some articles online it says that Mike and Nancy did not get along very well. If this is true, it's a little odd to immediately tell police you fear something bad has happened, unless he just absolutely knew his sister would not leave without telling someone. Mike had also told police that his sister worked hard during the week at school, and sometimes on the weekends she would go out to parties, but all in all, she was a pretty straight kid. When detectives were done interviewing all co-workers and her friends, and talking to her boyfriend who was attending college in California at the time, they realized no one had spoken or seen Nancy since Wednesday night. There was seemingly no trace of her anywhere. Then on December 26th, just a day after what should have been a happy holiday, news came that a farmer in rural Westchester, Ohio, had been out walking near a creek bed on his property when he saw a woman lying in the mud. He was shocked and took off to call the Butler County Sheriff's in, as there were no local agencies for rural towns in the 70s. When the sheriff showed up, they noted that Nancy was wearing a red, white, and blue plaid shirt, a pullover sweater, corduroy pants, knee socks, ankle boots, and a small turquoise ring. No purse was found with Nancy. It should be noted that she left work that night with her purse. It has never been found according to the reports. The police would also note that her arms were bound. She had a rope or clothesline knotted around her neck. She was partially nude, although they could not tell if she had been sexually assaulted, but it was more than likely that she was. Her body was also frozen, as it had been outside long enough to freeze, making one believe she died soon after she was abducted. It was believed Nancy died by strangulation, something that the coroner would later confirm. DNA would also positively identify the body to be Nancy's. Police and family believe whoever killed her was a stranger. They also believe that the killer may have been watching her and knew her routine, which is quite frightening to think about. The killer was also likely very familiar with the area, as in 1977 that part of Westchester was mainly farmland and had not been developed into what it is today, and would have been pitch black out that night, so the killer would have known where to go, or at least been there prior. Her younger brother went on a local news channel once he was older and stated that he was only 11 at the time, but the pain is still there. He also stated that she died a brutal death, as she was beaten and strangled along with being sexually assaulted, all while she was bound. Her brother has also stated she clocked out of work that night at 9:53 p.m. and left shortly after. Now these may not be facts, but if they are true and confirmed, she clocked out and left before 11 or 11:30 p.m., which raises some questions to the employees at Arby's and her older brother Mike. I also find it a little odd that if she was just going home, why did she change out of her work shirt? It is plausible she didn't want her clothes to smell like work, but there are just so many variables in this case, it's unknown. The case had gone cold in years past. In 2000, Nancy's case was reopened, and it was announced that they had a suspect they wanted to interview. The public heard no more on this. In 2018, it was announced that once again the cold case unit would be re-examining the case, and once again the public heard no more on the findings if there were any. It is said that the killer's blood was found on Nancy's sweater. However, a user on an online forum allegedly related to Nancy said the sweater was hung in the detective's shed for the winter, so the evidence was not preserved well. Take that as you will, as it has not come out as factual in this case. It is also known that hair and fibers were found under Nancy's fingernails. In 2019, there was an article that said they were sending this evidence off to be run for DNA. Nothing more has been found on this, assuming because COVID hit and everything got backlogged. Another side note to this case is Nancy is believed to be linked to 3 other deaths, and some say it is the work of a serial killer, as all the victims were from Cincinnati and killed in mid-October to mid-November by strangulation, except for the last victim, and then dumped in a rural location, all in Butler County, Ohio. Also note, all but the last victim worked at local restaurants. All the victims had hair and fibers found under their fingernails. Victoria May Hincher, age 22, worked at a restaurant, who was from Cincinnati and was found on October 31, 1976. She was found on New London Road in Ross Township, Ohio, located in Butler County. The next victim, if we believe a serial killer did this, would have been Nancy, as she was found in 1977. Next would be Tammy Lynn King, age 19, from Cincinnati. She was found on November 13, 1982. Tammy Lynn was found in a wooded area off of Dunwoody Road in Riley Township, located in Butler County. She had not been seen since leaving her apartment on October 25th and was believed to be 5 months pregnant. What is interesting to me is the years between the second and third murder. What happened for them to go on a hiatus of sorts? The last victim, if this is a serial killer linked to Nancy, was a man by the name of Kermit Sonny Vincil. He was a 41-year-old man not from Cincinnati, but rather Springboro, Ohio. He was found on December 5, 1985 in Middletown, Ohio, inside the office of a truck service business he co-owned on Dixie Highway. He too had fibers and hair under his nails. However, unlike the others, he was not strangled. He was shot in the chest multiple times and in the head. Nowhere can I find any information as to why this man is believed to be connected to the women, other than the hair and fibers under his nails. An article that was found stated they knew who killed Sonny, but they did not have enough evidence to charge. Nothing would ever come from this. This case, as all the cases, have a lot of unanswered questions, and a lot of loved ones that want answers. If you have any information in any of these cases, no matter how small, please contact the Butler County Sheriff's Office at 513-785-1000. Once again, if you have any information on Nancy's case or any of the others mentioned today, please contact the Butler County Sheriff's Office at 513-785-1000. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. And don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so I can continue helping families of the missing, murdered, and unsolved. As always, this is the Chronikle, signing off.